Hey guys, welcome to my intro to Sunriseclan. This clan and the other two they share borders with are so special to me, so I'm really excited to share them with you. This is their allegiance, so go ahead and pause the video if you'd like to read it. First, I want to describe the territory these clans live in. This isn't based on any real-life place, but I imagine large rolling hills dotted by tall mountains. There are heavily wooded pine forests that are full of prey. The territory is home to a pair of ranging bobcats, a small pack of coyotes, and occasionally a cougar that roams from the North Mountains. Sunriseclan lives nestled in the cliffside, sandwiched between Clan on the lake and Clan in the forest above. Clan lives at the top of the mountain in a large oak forest. Their camp is in the shade of a fiery orange maple tree. Clan lives on a small island in the lake and controls much of the territory surrounding the water. They have the most cats and the largest territory. Sunriseclan moved to this territory around 3 years ago, which makes them the most recent clan. There was a massive flood in their old forest territory and most of their clan died. Sunriseclan had to rebuild from the ground up with Sunrise Star as their leader. Many of these cats have suffered great loss because of the flood, but they are resilient. Because they're the newest clan to the area, they got less than ideal territory. Their territory is the smallest and the most difficult to traverse, but they control the Starlit Caverns. This is where medicine cats come to commune with StarClan, and it sits in the heart of the mountain, which is the heart of Sunriseclan. Other notable features of the landscape include the sunset stones, which are the large rocks sitting just over the waterfall. These belong to Sunriseclan and are often used for deep thinking. There's also the old oak, where gatherings are held. There's also the waterfall, of course, that spills over the cliffside from a river above. The falls spill out into a stream that spreads into a lake. The river is fast-moving and the current is incredibly strong. Most cats can't swim across the river except for Clan cats. The Sunriseclan camp is tucked in a cave in the mountain. To enter, you have to squeeze through the roots of a fallen tree. Only one cat can fit through at a time, making their camp impossible to ambush. There is a leader's den in the center of the cave, and Sunrise Star uses these stones to call clan meetings. At the back of the cave is a large opening used for the nursery. There's also a small opening that leads into the medicine cat den. This den has a secret tunnel into the Starlit Cavern that none of the other clans know about. Finally, the warriors and elders sleep communally in the open. There's really no need for separate dens. The entire cave is a den in itself. Sunriseclan has 3 medicine cats and a medicine cat apprentice, the most out of any of the clans. This clan is prone to injury and serious illness, so the more med cats the better. The 4 medicine cats have their own den tucked away in the back of the main cave. It's small and cramped, but it's not actually their real den. The small cave has a claustrophobic tunnel that any cat can squeeze through and emerge into the Starlit Caverns. It's a tiny tunnel, and it's blocked by several crystals, so none of the other medicine cats know about it. Sunriseclan's med cats actually sleep in the Starlit Caverns and commune with StarClan almost every night. They make soft nests on the cold rocky floor and quickly remove the nests when it's time for the half-moon meeting. If the other clans knew about this, they would be furious, especially Clan. They are highly spiritual, and if they knew their rival could speak with the ancestors every night, they would be outraged. The sunset stones, as I mentioned, are often used for deep contemplating. Sunrise Star can be found on this ledge looking into the horizon. Sometimes her deputy fruit sprout will join her, but they often sit in silence. Sunrise Star doesn't look to the stars to mourn her loved ones. She sees the setting sun and is warmed by its embrace. This reminds her of the loved one she's lost, not the cold, dark night sky. So the leaders of the clan sit in silence and enjoy the warmth of their ancestors in the setting sun. Obviously, I went for a very Lion King inspired image here, and you can see my reference flashing on the screen occasionally. So let's get into the cats. First, we have to start with our glorious leader and channel mascot, Sunrise Star. Sunrise Star founded Sunriseclan after the flood destroyed their previous clan. She was actually born a kitty pet and is not ashamed of her origins. As a young cat, Sunrise Star, originally called Sunny, had wandered from her two-leg home and stumbled upon some clan cats. She's incredibly charismatic and convincing, so she easily talked her way out of a fight with the feral cats. In fact, one of the cats found Sunny quite endearing. The two started meeting on a regular basis for moons, and eventually the clan cat, called Cedartail, asked Sunny to join him. She leaped at the opportunity for adventure, and it wasn't long before the pair became mates. The clan she joined accepted her, and for many moons they were happy. That's before the terrible flood came. As the water rose, the clan fled to higher ground, but many of the cats drowned, including Cedartail. Sunny bravely led her clanmates as far from the old territory as she could. When she stumbled upon a beautiful mountainside with a gorgeous waterfall, it seemed too good to be true. It was a rocky beginning for their small clan of survivors, but Sunny became Sunrise Star. She was named by the clan because she led them to a new territory and a new day, just like the sunrise. Right after arriving to the new territory, Sunrise Star found out that she was pregnant, but her mate was gone. She gave birth to 5 kits, but only 2 survived. Now Sunrise Star is a beloved leader and has an adoring apprentice called Paaw. This little guy was adopted by the deputy and her mate, and he's quite the handful. He matches Sunrise Star's energy to a T. The pair of them are almost the perfect storm. Paaw and Sunrise Star are always swapping bad ideas and getting themselves into trouble with the other clans. Unfortunately, Paaw's mentor is teaching him how to break rules rather than follow them. Our next cats are the deputy Fruit Sprout and her mate Cricket Breeze. Fruit Sprout and Cricket Breeze are both from the original clan and actually grew up together. They've had crushes on each other since they were apprentices. Fruit Sprout is a kind but serious deputy. She helps balance out the tornado that is Sunrise Star. It worries her to no end when Sunrise Star is out with Paaw, who's Fruit Sprout and Cricket Breeze's son. You can never really tell when they might come back escorted by very angry Maple Clan cats or worse. Fruit Sprout is always having to apologize for her leader's spirit at gatherings. Despite this, she loves her leader and is secretly entertained by Sunrise Star's antics. Fruit Sprout's mate, Cricket Breeze, lost her leg in the flood. She was swimming strongly against the current when her leg was trapped by a tree branch in the surf. She would have drowned if it weren't for Fruit Sprout grabbing her by the scruff and yanking her from the gushing waves. Her leg was badly damaged and had to be amputated immediately. It was a terrible journey to the new territory for Cricket Breeze. Several times she was on death's door, but Fruit Sprout refused to let her die. For many hours, Fruit Sprout would even carry Cricket Breeze on her back as they traveled. After such a terrible injury, the pair decided that they would never live another day without each other. Fruit Sprout almost lost Cricket Breeze, and she never wanted to experience that again. They became mates in the new territory, and recently they found an abandoned kit who has grown into the snarky Paaw. Cricket Breeze is a strange warrior who doesn't speak much. When she does talk, it's usually some odd metaphor or quirky one-liner. Cricket Breeze has struggled with the loss of her leg, especially in the mountains, but with such a supportive mate, she's learning how to hunt and patrol with her disability, not in spite of it. Our next cats are the lead medicine cat Firebud and her apprentice and kit Acornpaw. Firebud is incredibly grateful to Sunrise Star and her patient and forgiving leading style. Firebud knew that having a mate in kits was against her oath as a medicine cat, but she loved her mate Copperwing more than she could ever express. Firebud didn't know what she was going to do when she found out she was pregnant. But lucky for her and Copperwing, Sunrise Star was happy for them and didn't care if they had kids. You are the greatest medicine cat I could have ever met, and you are a phenomenal warrior. Having kids would only make each of you better at your jobs, the leader purred. So, Firebud and Copperwing had litter after litter of kits. They lost nearly all of their kits in the first leaf bare on the mountain, but Sunshade survived. The most recent leaf bare, Firebud gave birth to her kits Acorn Kit, Tawny Kit, Orange Kit, and Frost Kit. They all survived, but unfortunately Copperwing did not. Firebud was so sad that her kits would never meet their adoring father, but she couldn't be prouder of the family they had made together. She is a deeply caring and passionate cat that has only grown more fond of her clan as they helped her through her grief. Meanwhile, Acorn Kit grew into a very intelligent acorn paw. He knew from a very young age that he wanted to follow in his mom's paw steps. He is a stickler for the rules and loves to keep things in order. Acorn Paw is a masterful collector and can often be found with organized herbs he managed to collect all on his own. His mother couldn't be prouder of him, and he knows it. He's pleased with himself and just knows he'll earn his full name and his place as an official medicine cat of Sunriseclan very soon, despite only being 8 moons old. It's difficult to tell from this angle, but Firebud has a large white heart on her chest, and this is a common motif among all of her family, except for Sunshade, but there's a reason for that. So if there's a kitty in the clan that has a heart anywhere on them, they're probably related to Firebud. Our next 2 medicine cats are Snapdragonheart and Dayflood. Snapdragonheart is one of the 2 surviving kits from Sunrise Star and is the more quiet and reserved of the brothers. He prefers spending time alone and enjoys keeping himself busy with his work. When his mother offered to give him Acorn Paw as an apprentice, Snapdragonheart gratefully declined. He isn't the biggest fan of working with another cat. He enjoys the silence as he searches for herbs among the cliffsides. Although he enjoys his peace and quiet, there is one cat Snapdragonheart is happy to be distracted by, Dayflood. These 2 have been seeing each other for a while now, but nobody in the clan knows it. Snapdragonheart doesn't understand why Dayflood would want to keep it a secret. It's obvious that Sunriseclan doesn't care if the medicine cats have a mate or kits, just like at Firebud. And the clan is clearly not fazed by a gay relationship. I mean, the deputy is a lesbian. But Dayflood insists that the 2 keep it a secret. Snapdragonheart agrees, but only because he loves Dayflood. But he can't pretend like he understands. Dayflood is a secretive cat. He doesn't like much to be known about his life and is a skilled liar when the need arises. Snapdragonheart thinks he knows Dayflood, but he hardly knows the Tom at all. In fact, nobody does. Dayflood wears a collar and refuses to remove it, but nobody knows why. When it's time to speak with StarClan, Dayflood barely drinks anything from the water in the cave and waits to be the very last to fall asleep. Sometimes Snapdragonheart swears that Dayflood isn't even sleeping at all. Secretly, Dayflood is furious with StarClan and refuses to speak with them. He knows what StarClan did to him and his family, but nobody else does. He's manipulative and easily conned his way into the medicine cat role and into the heart of Snapdragon. Becoming a medicine cat and using Snapdragonheart to help him reach the ancestors are just the first steps in Dayflood's plan to destroy StarClan. Next is one of our most senior warriors, Goldnettle, and her apprentice Frostpaw. Goldnettle is as stinging as her name would suggest. She has a sharp tongue and has no qualms with hurting feelings. Her words may cut like knives, but generally she means well. A perfectly placed insult could be just the right motivation for her apprentice to push himself to his best. As tough as she is, Goldnettle is a valuable mentor and warrior for the clan. She is ferocious and fiercely protective of her loved ones, even if she doesn't show her love very often. Her loyalty to the clan was called into question when she fell pregnant with the kits of a rogue. All but one of her kits survived, Blueflick. She fought hard to convince her clan that she could be trusted. Sunrise Star is quick to forgive and joked that Gold Nettle's own body wouldn't let her betray her clan, even if she wanted to. Gold Nettle was relieved to be trusted by her clan again. Her kits were the result of a fleeting passion and no more. Frostpaw is overjoyed to have Gold Nettle as a mentor, but he is terrified at the thought of failure. Although he grew up to be a tall and lanky apprentice, Frostpaw was the runt of his litter, and his siblings, especially Tawnypaw, were constantly bullying him. Frostpaw is a jittery guy who's constantly on the lookout for danger, even when he doesn't need to be. He has a hard time focusing on what Gold Nettle is telling him, because he's always on high alert. His siblings often tease him by calling him a prairie dog. The little prey animals are constantly standing on their hind legs and searching for danger. Even Gold Nettle is caught onto this and will often yell at him to stop prairie dogging and pay attention. Frostpaw does his best, but he's worried he'll never be as strong as his sister, or as intelligent as his brothers. Our next cat I would die for. This is the one and only Squishy. This cat is an absolute delight to be around and is like the clan mother. Obviously, she's a Persian cat, so she used to be a kitty pet. Squishy was found by the clan on the side of a thunder path as they traveled to the new territory, so she's a more recent addition to Sunriseclan. Despite this, everyone adores her like they've known her all their lives. Squishy is pleasant, friendly, and always eager to help. She's a little scatterbrained and isn't the best at hunting or patrolling, but she's a great listener and loves to play moss ball with the kids. Obviously, Squishy isn't really built for clan life. Her smushed nose makes it difficult for her to breathe as she climbs in the mountains, and her long fur is constantly getting tangled and matted. Although she's not an elder, the apprentices are in charge of helping Squishy keep her coat free of ticks and briars. This is normally a job dreaded by the apprentices, but Squishy makes it more bearable by telling them fantastic stories and sneaking a piece of prey from the fresh kill pile for any apprentice willing to help her. She's just such a doll. Barley, Bristle, and Spur are an interesting and dynamic duo. These two can't be more different, and yet they make such great friends. Barley Bristle is one of the original clan members, along with Spur, so they have been friends for a very long time. Barley Bristle is a dedicated warrior who makes a great mentor. He's responsible and serious, sometimes a little too serious. Barley Bristle is blunt and straight to the point. He never intends to hurt anyone's feelings, but sometimes he can't help but say the truth. He struggles to read other cats' emotions sometimes and can find himself in the midst of drama when he unintentionally misreads another cat's intentions. At one point, he thought Spur was coming on to him, but turns out he was just misreading the situation as well. Spur assured Barley Bristle that although Barley is a very handsome tom, short-haired cats were not his type. This is a good segue into Spur, who is outgoing and extravagant. He's flamboyant and larger than life. Spur always has an opinion on literally everything, and he will tell you about it. Every morning, he spends a significant amount of time grooming himself and ensuring his coat is gleaming. Spur is certain that he's perfect in every way, and his arrogance can be nauseating. Ember Mask is the ideal warrior. He is incredibly loyal to Sunriseclan and will do anything to protect them. He usually thinks before he acts, but he can be impulsive when it comes to their rival clans. If he even smells a Clan or Bay Clan warrior, he's on the trail, and he will not give up until he's sure they haven't been trespassing. He's friendly and well-liked by his clan, but he prefers his independence. During gatherings, he doesn't usually get involved, but there is one cat he's been gravitating towards. The she-cat, called Sandnose, is a huge gossip, and always knows what's going on in the other clans. She's from Clan. Ember Mask can't help but be curious and enjoys trading stories with her. She's pretty easy on the eyes as well. Pebble Gleam is a new warrior that actually came from Bay Clan. She left a sister behind in her birth clan, but she also left behind a murderer. Pebble Gleam's ex-mate confessed to her that he killed his own brother in cold blood. Pebble Gleam didn't know what to do, so she confided in her sister, Honeyspring. Little did she know that her ex-mate stood right behind her as she spoke. He attacked her and her sister. The she-cats fought him off, but Pebble Gleam was no longer safe in Bayclan. She ran to Sunriseclan. She found some safety there, but is terrified for her sister, who was still in Bayclan with a murderer. Our next cats are Charchirp, her brother Spire Summit, and their good friend Nightfoot. Charchirp is introspective and quiet. She often thinks with her heart before she thinks with her head. She learned that from her mother. Charchirp, Spire Summit, and their sister Greentrail, who's in the nursery, all came to the clan as kids, just about to become apprentices. Their mother Orion was a loner who had been seriously injured by a dog. She needed to ensure her kits' safety and brought them to the clan. Orion begged Sunrise Star to take her kits. Of course Sunrise Star took in the kits, without question, and brought Orion back to camp for treatment. Orion never got better as her kits grew into apprentices. Their mother succumbed to her injuries, leaving 3 orphan kits behind in Sunriseclan. Charchirp, Spire Summit, and Greentrail were taken into the clan and treated like everyone's kids. All of the older warriors were like parents to them, and they grew up well. Charchirp, like I said, is an emotional and deeply feeling cat. Spire Summit is curious and sometimes airheaded. He often gets in the way of Charchirp, usually unintentionally, while she's trying to flirt with her crush Nightfoot. Nightfoot is a sensitive she-cat and isn't sure she reciprocates Charchirp's feelings, but she doesn't mind feeling pursued and loved. These 3 are a silly combo to see hunting. Usually, Nightfoot is trying to stalk prey, Charchirp is admiring Nightfoot, and Spire Summit is wandering off to investigate a new rock that totally wasn't there yesterday. You can see that Spire Summit actually wears a collar, and that's because he was captured by 2 legs as an apprentice. He can't get the collar off, mostly because it's a little too tight around his neck, but it doesn't bother him. It does kind of make it difficult to hunt, though, because he has a bell. Next is Greentrail, Charchirp and Spire Summit's sister, and her mate Rapidshine. Greentrail is one of my favorite cats. She was born without her left front leg and had a very difficult time as a kitten. Her mother Orion took special care of Green Kit, almost to the point of helicopter parenting. Her brother and sister were jealous of all the attention she would get. Greentrail grew up loving her mother, but always resented being treated differently from her siblings. She's fiercely independent and refuses when other cats try to help her. She can do anything on her own and needs no one. She was a difficult apprentice. Greentrail pushes herself beyond her limits to prove she is as good of a warrior as any other cat. This often leads to her having sore muscles and aching joints. She'd never ask for help for this, but she's grateful when she finds poppy seeds waiting for her in her nest. Greentrail's mate, Rapidshine, is a friendly and caring father. He adores his kits almost as much as he adores his mate. He's a talented hunter and often brings Greentrail her favorite snack, lizards. Rapidshine and his sister Poolgaze grew up in the clan, but a particularly harsh leaf bear in the mountain left them orphaned. Rapidshine was absolutely crushed. He was numb for moons and couldn't get out of his nest, even to eat. His mother especially meant everything to him, and just looking at his sister Poolgaze was like looking at the ghost of his mom. When Greentrail announced that she was expecting kits, Rapidshine was excited but terrified. He would have to put his grief behind him so he could be there for his family. He still struggles with his depression, but he's slowly healing. He was the one that suggested that they name their 2 kits after their parents. Orion Kit was named for Greentrail's mother, and Moon Kit was named for Rapidshine's mother, Silvermoon. Next are a brother and sister duo called Speckle and Serpent Paaw. These siblings were found washed up by the river's edge by a patrol that was exploring Bayclan territory. Sunriseclan at the time was running low on cats, and with so many homosexual mates, the prospect of having kids wasn't looking good. So they took in Hailkit and Serpent Kit and raised them. Little does the clan know that they unintentionally stole these kits from Clan after they tumbled down the waterfall. Speckle is a gentle and kind she-cat. She's funny and always has something witty to say. She's always trying to help around the clan and loves Squishy especially. The pair are always talking about clan romances and the prospect of kits in the clan someday. Serpent Paaw, meanwhile, was seriously injured during his apprenticeship. He was apprenticed to the deputy fruit sprout, and while on patrol, he slipped on some wet rocks and tumbled from the mountainside. He broke his hind leg and has seriously fallen behind in his training. He was desperate to get back to his training, but Fruit Sprout refused to let him until he was fully healed. Serpent Paaw was furious with his mentor and the world. He would lash out at cats unprovoked and even gave his sister a claw wound. Speckle only wants to help, but Serpent Paaw is beyond jealous that she is already a warrior, and he should be too. Although he's back to training, Fruit Sprout continues to delay his warrior ceremony because his attitude needs serious training. Next are Blue Flick, Gold Nettle's daughter, and Pool Gaze, Rapid Shine's sister. These two are close friends and can often be found sharing tongues and meals together. They are two of the clan's best hunters and regularly bring back large hauls of prey for the clan. It's prey that they hunted in Clan territory, but nobody needs to know that. Food is food, right? Blue Flick is an adventurous and outgoing she-cat. She loves the thrill of exploring a rival clan's territory, but is easily startled. Just the snap of a twig branch can send her scurrying back to her own territory. She can be a little bit of a flirt and likes teasing Sunshade. He makes it very clear that he likes her, and she doesn't mind stringing him along just for fun. He'd do the same to her if he had the chance anyway. She thinks she likes him back, but he is a little bit on the immature side. Pool Gaze is a little more cunning than her friend. She isn't afraid to trespass because she's convinced she won't get caught. The Clan patrols are easy to predict, and she's a silent hunter anyway. Pool Gaze is often sarcastic and snarky, and always has a cheeky smirk plastered on her muzzle. She's trouble, but nobody knows it, and she takes that as a testament to her skill. Next is Sunshade and his apprentice Tawny Paw, and Astrodapple with his apprentice Orange Paw. First is Sunshade. This is one of Firebud and Copperwing's only surviving kits. He is the spitting image of his father, and you'd never know he was Firebud's son. Like I said, all of her kits have a heart marking either on their chest or in their spots, but Sunshade doesn't. Tawny Paw, his apprentice and younger sister, teases him, saying that maybe he's not related to them at all. Firebud is always quick to put that rumor to rest. Sunshade is so much like his father in personality as well. He's flirtatious and silly, can always find the good in a terrible situation. His easygoing attitude makes it difficult for him to keep Tawny Paw under control. She is a fierce young apprentice who acts like she has nothing to lose. Sunshade worries she'll dive into something headfirst and not be able to get herself out. She's cocky and incredibly overconfident. Astrodapple is Sunrise Star's kit and Snapdragon Heart's brother. He is a large and imposing Tom, so he is very strong. He's brave and intelligent, but has a bad habit of shirking his responsibilities. Astrodapple is rather childish and doesn't like being responsible for anything other than himself. His mother gave him Orange Paw to force him into mentoring, but usually Astrodapple is content to let Tawny Paw teach Orange Paw for him. She's happy to feel important as well, but she doesn't always teach her brother the right things. Astrodapple, meanwhile, can be found at Pool Gaze's feet, desperate for her attention. He isn't as much of a flirt as Sunshade is, but he is quite handsome and knows how to use it. Orange Paaw is not happy with this arrangement and hates how high and mighty his sister has become. If she wasn't already insufferable, she definitely is now. Orange Paaw is realistic and borders on pessimistic. He definitely does not like being mentored by his sister and is considering telling the leader about her son's terrible mentoring. He's a little bit of a tattletale. Finally, we have our two elders, Gentle Ghost and Tiny Leaf. These two are always getting up to trouble in the classic Sunriseclan way. Tiny Leaf is the largest and oldest cat of the clan and can fill a room with her personality. She's excitable and loud. When Tiny Leaf laughs, which is often, it can be heard all the way from the Great Oak. She has a liveliness about her that's just contagious. Tiny Leaf seems to have a lust for life despite her old age, and this energy has passed on to her friend Gentle Ghost. Gentle Ghost was always much more relaxed and quiet than his friend. He doesn't like being the center of attention and prefers to watch the action rather than being involved. Only a few moons ago, Gentle Ghost's mate passed away. He was deeply troubled by her loss and just wanted to be left alone. It was Tiny Leaf's constant laughter and pestering that really helped him heal. The old she-cat wouldn't let anything get to her. No old bones, nor ticks, nor memory loss could get Tiny Leaf down, and Gentle Ghost wanted to feel that kind of alive. These two are best friends, and Gentle Ghost is always following Tiny Leaf out of camp to join her on her lively adventures. This usually involves leaving territory and finding something to get up to in another clan's territory. And that's Sunriseclan. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Keep an eye out for Clan and Clan videos. They have just as many interesting characters as Sunriseclan. Thanks for watching, and if you join me for my next video, I'll see you then.